Hello and welcome to Ex-Witness Awake. I'm your host, Jonathan. I hope that you are doing well today. It's yet again the middle of the night at a job, and I thought I'd chat with y'all. So today I was thinking about how confusing it is to be a Jehovah's Witness. Let's run the introduction, and then we'll get into it, okay? Here we go. Okay, so here's a question for you. Am I better than you? Are you better than me? Well, no. Not really. There's all kinds of people out there, and some of them feel that they are better than you. When it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, they have a very confusing idea about where they fit in that. Because imagine having the opinion that you have the moral high ground.
I have the high ground!
So you're better than people, but you're also a piece of crap.
He said, likewise, when you have done all the things assigned to you, say, we are good-for-nothing slaves. What we have done is what we ought to have done.
So you're not better than people. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It doesn't really make sense, does it? I look at the governing body on their broadcasts, and they just kind of come across as sort of pompous and full of themselves, and they're just clearly looking down their noses at you. They think they're better than you. They're of this special class that's going to go up to heaven and be a ruler, a king, and a priest. The governing body, they get to call the shots of what people do and how they think and how they act. They get to live this life of luxury, so to speak. I mean, maybe it's not quite the same as a regular televangelist, but it's still pretty cushy. And they've got lots and lots of people who are doing their bidding at any given time. So to me, that perception that I have of them is they think they're better than you. And that's a kind of a mindset that you see with a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses. Because they'll see somebody who's a little rough around the edges and they'll kind of look down at them, especially if they've got some money. So if it's, say, an elder who has a business and they've got some cash, especially if they've got some cash, they're going to act like they're just a little better than you are. Even better than some of the Jehovah's Witnesses in the congregation. Money has a way of making you think that you're better than others, unfortunately.
What is this thing? Money.
All this money and nothing to do and nobody to do it with.
You were saying something, old boy?
But just because you've got cash doesn't mean you're a better person. No. Okay, so you've got some people who have this mindset that they're better than you, but then what do you see in the broadcasts? Are you doing enough? Is there more that you can do for Jehovah and the organization? Could you volunteer? Could you put in a few more hours of field service? What can you do to serve the org?
We're told to examine our own actions. So ask yourself, how am I doing spiritually? Am I happy with my attendance at Christian meetings? Do I participate by sharing meaningful comments as able? How about my personal study of the Bible? Let me examine my involvement in the ministry. Could I do better in preparing for my return visits? Do I conduct any Bible studies with interested ones? If so, am I content with what I am doing? In effect, you're asking yourself, is my best good enough?
So, what does that do to you when you're trying as hard as you can, but it's not enough?
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're scum! We suck!
Well, it makes you feel like you can't measure up. You're always just, like trying to climb a greased telephone pole. You can put as much effort as you want into it, but you're just going to keep slipping down, and you're not going to be able to get to the top. And you think about how the governing body talks about those who no longer believe. In some religions, you change your mind, you decide to no longer go to that church or that place of worship, and they don't give you a hard time. They don't put you down. They don't say that you're an apostate full of poisonous lies and looking to destroy relationships and tear people away from their organization. No. You just change your mind, and it's fine. If you come back, they're happy to see you, but they generally aren't going to look at you like you're the scum of the earth. But when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, starting at the top, you're garbage to them. And that's what they teach the members, is that you're garbage and you should be treated as such. So they come across as thinking they are better than you, especially if you're somebody who's left. So that's why people who are questioning or have come to the conclusion that something's wrong are sometimes afraid to leave because of the way that they're going to be viewed and the resulting damage to their way of life and their relationships in the congregation and with family. But I'll tell you what, you take somebody who is an elder or a ministerial servant, and you put them right next to somebody who has never set foot in a church or cracked open a Bible or said a prayer in their entire life. And what would be that comparison of those two people? What would you think would be the person to be viewed as the better person? Well, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, naturally it's going to be the elder or the ministerial servant or the pioneer or the circuit overseer or somebody like that. They're going to be the better person, of course, because they serve Jehovah, they serve the organization, they're baptized, they give money, they put their time, they volunteer their time for free. But maybe secretly, those people have been doing some shady things.
5 names announced today bring a total of 9 people since October last year who are facing charges in connection to that investigating grand jury. The acting attorney general today said 2 men came from Lancaster County.
We learned of several incidents of sexual assault committed by members of Jehovah's Witnesses congregation.
Acting AG Michelle Henry on Tuesday announced 42-year-old Abimael Valentin Matos of Lancaster County was among those charged. In his case, the abuse was alleged to have happened more than a decade ago.
It is alleged that Matos abused a 15-year-old girl who at the time was half his age, claiming that he intended to marry her.
The acting AG also announced charges against 44-year-old Norman Aviles of Lancaster County, whom she said was an elder in his congregation and is accused of molesting at least 3 young children between the ages of 5 and 10.
He was trusted to babysit and even act as a guardian to one of his victims.
Court documents say some allegations against Avilés date back to the late 1990s. The acting AG says that Avilés remains at large while the other men named today are in custody. Prosecutors also wrote in court documents that one victim of Avilés reported abuse from another congregant, something that would be addressed in a future presentment. In our Harrisburg newsroom, Tom Lehman, WGAL News 8.
Maybe they're a person who is hiding abuse. Maybe they have seen something and allowed it to happen because they don't want to, put a damper on the name of Jehovah. They don't want to drag Jehovah's name through the mud when it's really the organization. But anyway. So that person that has never done those things, that has never cracked open a Bible or said a prayer or whatever, does that mean that they're a worse person? No. Because it's not about belief. It's not about belonging to a certain group. It is about the kind of person that you are on the inside and how you treat others, your actions. So that person that's never done those things might actually be a spiritual person. Or not. They don't have to be. But if they're the kind of person that would see somebody who is in trouble and would help them, or would, without hesitation, report a crime, even though it's not a requirement in the area they are that they mandatorily report, they would do it anyway. Or they would, maybe volunteer at a soup kitchen, or plant some trees, or, well, you get the idea. They could be a great, fine human being who is a benefit to the community in a tangible way, not just knocking on doors and trying to make it out like they're a great person. Like if that non-Jehovah's Witness, non-religious person knocked on your door, they probably wouldn't be planning to take your house after fireballs destroy the current owner, like some people have done, going to the door because they find that the householder is unreceptive to the message, and they're like, well, I'll have this place. I'm going to kick your bones off to the side when Armageddon happens, and I'm going to have this nice house. Well, that's not cool. That's not a very nice thing to do. Wishing destruction on billions of people is not a really good moral thing to do. But that's a common theme in Jehovah's Witness religion. How that, the governing body, the anointed ones, are going to transform into spirit creatures, and they're going to destroy non-believers in the name of Jehovah and the organization.
So when the anointed are called to heaven, one of the first assignments is to fight. Yeah. Now that's interesting. Some of us were fighters before we became true Christians. Some even served in various branches of the military. Didn't they, Brother Morris?
Hey. That's Jehovah's enemies. They're going to vanish like smoke.
I don't think that makes you a great person. Do you agree? What do you think about it? And we all, as human beings, have value. And none of us are perfect. We make mistakes, and that's a fact. So, yeah. Just because I do something and I mess up, that doesn't make you better than me. Because you could turn around and mess up, and that doesn't make me better than you. We're just people. So, I guess, don't toot your own horn. Be proud of who you are and the things that you can accomplish and the good deeds that you do. But don't look through your nose at other people because they aren't part of your religious group or doing part of this preaching work that you're doing as a Jehovah's Witness. Let's be good to each other, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're just people doing the best that we can. Anyway, that's it. So I got to get my butt back to work. I got stuff to do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a great day. Please like and please share and please subscribe if you haven't. I'm always looking to talk to new people, talk to more people, and Youre doing that stuff helps that happen. That pesky algorithm and all. Anyway, back to work for me, so bye for now. And we mustn't forget, of all the religions, theirs is the best and only true religion. Everyone else is false.